I come to work every day. It's not necessarily for the approval of everybody. As I said at the press conference, let's judge my hire 3 and 4 years down the road, and at that point, you can give me disapproval or approval. But we got to go out. We got to recruit. We have to go take the field next fall and go through the Pac-12 conference schedule. Let's try to win a championship. Let's do really well in school. Let's do really good in our community, and then we can judge it. But to judge, it's like you're signing a recruiting class. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, this was a great class. There's 5 stars, 4 stars." Well, we really don't know how good that class is going to be until 3 or 4 years down the road, until those players have to go play. So let's put our product on the field and see what happens.
Steve Sarkisian, our guest. It's not just the fans. The players had a strong emotional attachment to Ed Orgeron.
Sure.
So what was it like, Steve, to walk in that room for the first time, knowing how difficult the situation was for the players?
Well, I wanted to get in there as soon as possible, so I got in. I met with them that night and scheduled a meeting that was an emotional day for them, for the players. As Ed departed, it was an emotional day for me, quite honestly, leaving those players at the University of Washington and coming here to USC. But I felt like the sooner we did that, the better, and that I could get in front of those guys, give them a sense of who I am, what I'm about. And it wasn't a long, drawn-out meeting. It was one of just really getting to know one another, and that I understood how they felt. And I really did, because I had some of the same feelings leaving those kids at Washington, and I wanted to make sure that they understood where I was coming from as well. And Ed did a great job. Coach O did a tremendous job the last 2 months of the season of rallying the troops, keeping those guys tighter than they've ever been, and really showing that this is a good football team, and this team can win right now. We're not in a rebuilding process. We're going to have an opportunity to win a championship next fall, and that's what we're going to build towards.
Steve, what did you tell the players that you left in Washington?
I told them I loved them, and I appreciated everything that they did for the last 5 years. And I couldn't be more grateful to what they brought every single day, the attitude they brought every single day. We had some tremendous moments together, some experiences for me that are going to last a lifetime that I'll never forget. And I challenged them to go win their ninth football game in the bowl game, and I challenged them to continue to build that program back to where it's placed in this conference. And I think they did a great job in hiring Chris Peterson. He's a good fit for the University of Washington, and he's inherited a program that is in the right place to continue to get better.
Got a few more moments with Steve Sarkisian. Steve, obviously over the years there have been a lot of comparisons between you and Lane Kiffin. You spent a lot of time together. You work together. How do you see yourself as similar, and how do you see yourself as different from Lane Kiffin?
I don't know, of assessing, similarities and differences of just exactly when you're one of them. I do know Lane and I are different. We're different people. We run different schemes. I went away for 5 years and have adopted a new offensive scheme. I've hired new defensive coaches, and so we've become different. We're different play callers, and at the end of the day, that doesn't make me a better person or Lane a better person one way or the other, but I think we're different people. We're different coaches. How we relate to the players is differently, and whether my way is right or wrong, I don't know, but I do know we're definitely different.
All right, so you were there as an assistant for one of the most dominant stretches, not just in USC history, but in college football history. Is it possible to get USC back to that same level, or maybe the way the conference is set up these days, the way college football is that just not possible at all?
I don't know that it's not possible. I think that there are some unique challenges now with the playoff and the championship games that weren't there before. We didn't have a conference championship game. You didn't have to play somebody twice to win the conference, and there wasn't a playoff at that time. We might have benefited from a playoff, quite honestly, a couple of those seasons where we stubbed our toe earlier in the year in conference play and finished the regular season, 11-1, and we're finishing third in the final polls, and then we're going to the Rose Bowl and there's a national championship game. So, potentially the playoff can help us, because in this conference, as you know, Jim, it's difficult just to go undefeated. I mean, that you're playing Stanford and UCLA and Oregon and Washington and Arizona State. I mean, all these programs that if you can come out of this conference maybe with a one loss and still have an opportunity to compete for a national championship, this format might even be better for us.
Hey, Steve, one last thing. Clay Helton is going to serve as the interim head coach for the Las Vegas Bowl against Fresno State next weekend. So, how have you kind of reconciled that, or how does that work? How involved have you been in the preparation, and what have you seen from the team so far?
I thought they practiced great on Monday. I was out recruiting on Tuesday. I think Clay and the entire staff have done a really good job of prepping these kids, getting them ready to go. I visit with Clay daily when we're here, and I had a nice meeting with him again this morning. Clay's doing a great job. I think the kids are embracing the opportunity. I think